Thank you, Jose. My name is Ben Mangan. I'm the president and CEO of EARN, and I want to thank Thank you. I want to thank you all for being here, for sharing this celebration with us today. Thanks, David, for opening the celebration. Thanks, Citibank, for being our presenting sponsor. I want to thank the EARN staff and board who've worked really hard to put this on. I want to especially recognize Amanda Bird, Sarah Sullivan, and Tejal Desai. And I also want to recognize some of the elected officials and their representatives who are, here with us today. I always get choked up when I talk about elected officials. I know that, I don't know if the treasurer is here yet, but I know if he's not, he's on his way. Treasurer Jose Cisneros is on his way. Assessor Recorder Phil Ting is here. We have representatives from the Office of Supervisors Bevan Dufty and Ross Mercarimi who are here as well. We have representatives from the offices of Senator Barbara Boxer, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, State Senator Carol Migden, Assemblymember Mark Leno, and Mayor Gavin Newsom, and several members of the City of San Francisco family. Thank you all very much for being here. In his opening remarks, David Louie talked about the fact that this was a celebration, and I want to explain why that is. Because at a time when it's incredibly hard for anybody to save and invest, the families that EARN serves, they're not just getting by, they're thriving. It is downright painful these days if you want to fill your car with gas or buy groceries for your family. But I want you to imagine how painful that would be if you were a single parent with 2 kids and you made $30,000 a year. This is why EARN's families in particular deserve to be celebrated, because they still manage to save every single month, and they use the savings to invest in assets, college degrees, small businesses that they're starting, even their first homes. EARN matches the savings through something called an individual development account, or an IDA. This is a special savings account where EARN matches every dollar that a family saves with $2 that we raise from individuals, from foundations, and from government. We also provide the training that people need to save and invest wisely. The savings of EARN families and the matching dollars are all held in escrow, and when someone's ready to invest in one of those assets, we help them do that. I just talked about the increasing rise in prices of staples like groceries and gasoline. And I think when you take this into consideration, you think about the way credit markets are tightening, you can make the argument that the American dream for a low-wage worker is much further away for someone than it was a year ago. And that makes EARN's work more important than it was a year ago. And while it's always nice to be relevant, to me this is kind of a heartbreaking thing, because statistics tell us that college degrees, first homes, small businesses, these are the keys to prosperity that create wealth and success across generations. When a child grows up in a home that's owned by his or her parents, that child is much more likely to own a home themselves. That same child is more likely to actually get a 4-year degree from a college. When a child grows up in a home where their parents have gone to school, even one semester of community college, that child is much more likely to get a 4-year degree. But when these keys to the future move further from the grasp of hardworking families, we as a community, we as a nation, we slide further from the core value of opportunity. And this means that the great dreams of scholars, of entrepreneurs, of community residents, they go unfulfilled, and all of us are diminished as a result of this. The numbers here very coldly tell this story, as they often do. For every dollar in wealth that a white person owns, people of color on average own 10 to 15 cents. For every dollar in wealth that is owned by a man, women own 55 cents. This is not an accident. It's not a statement about character. If you want to understand why the odds are stacked against people like EARN savers, we have to look at the policies that our nation has enacted that have made the road to prosperity so challenging to travel for tens of millions of American workers, and by some estimates, over 1 million people in the Bay Area. The system that we have to build wealth is all around us, and we take it for granted. The home mortgage interest deduction, the 401k, these are two examples of wealth building strategies and tools, and they're great through the tax code. But historically, whether you've been able to enjoy them or not really depends on who you were when you were born into the world, as evidenced by those two statistics that I cited. And the legacy of the system can be boiled down into a very simple comparison today. According to economists, government benefits for the wealthiest Americans will buy them a brand new Porsche Boxster every year at $57,000 a year. That same bundle of benefits for this country's poorest will buy them a latte at Starbucks, just over $3. And I know that these numbers, they feel paralyzing when you hear them. And when you consider the odds that low-wage families face, when you think about how they're going to get the assets they're going to need to succeed over the time, how their kids will be able to succeed, it can feel hard to bet on their success. But I need to tell you, you would be unwise to bet against the success of Earn Savers. In fact, when you hear what they've been able to achieve, you're going to want to invest in these folks. When the dreams of our savers are matched with the special accounts that we offer and the training that we provide, these ordinary folks do extraordinary things that would almost seem impossible when you consider the facts that I've been sharing with you. Because what's not reflected in the odds I've been talking about is the vision, the strength, and the sacrifice that Earn Savers make every single day as they strive towards something that comes into focus when Earn provides hope in concrete form. We hear for a lot of people that this is the thing that lights the end of a very long tunnel, finally, for some folks. Now, I'm going to ask you guys a question. If you had to guess how much money a group of 2,000 people could save, but this group makes half the average income of someone in the Bay Area, how much money could they save from 2002 until now? I mean, I know there are a lot of smart people in the room. Many of you are very good at math, a lot of bankers. But I actually don't know if you would get this right. Since 2002, Earn families, 2,000 of them, have saved over $2.2 million of their own money. It deserves applause. In the most expensive region in the United States, the savings rate of Earn families has been about 5%, while across the nation, the savings rate has hovered between 0 and negative territory. This deserves celebration. And on that note, I don't want to keep you from our savers any longer.